Hi there guys, and welcome to the first tutorial in my series on how to use Final Cut Pro. So Final Cut Pro is a video editing software available for your Mac OS X. It's very similar to iMovie but more powerful. So you should be familiar already, I guess, with iMovie. It comes with your Mac. It's a simple video editing software. So Final Cut Pro is the next step up from that. It's available from the Apple App Store, priced around $299. Sounds expensive, but if you're really taking your video editing seriously, it's actually very well priced given the features and power that is available for it. And it, compared to the cost of, say, the Windows equivalent like Adobe Premiere, it's actually very reasonably priced. So I use it a lot for video editing myself, and let's jump in and take a look at it. So let's open up Final Cut Pro. So this tutorial is using the latest version of Final Cut Pro, and we'll create a new library. We'll call this Final Cut Pro Tutorials, and I'll create that library inside my Movies folder. So we're using Final Cut Pro X, latest version as of this time, and here's our library here, and then inside the library you can create specific project events. So a library, you can imagine this is a library of events. So if we're making a video, however you want to arrange it, this just helps to keep all of your project files nicely arranged. Because if you're doing a lot of videos, they're working on different projects, it's very important that you keep everything nice and neat and tidy, so it's easy for you to locate files and make sure that everything makes sense. So we've got a library here which I call Final Cut Pro Tutorials, and this is our first tutorial. So let's give a new event, and we'll call this event Tutorial 1. And we'll put it into our library FCP Tutorials. So create a new project, etc. And off we go. And I can now remove this default event. Okay. So there we go. So this is our first tutorial, and this is our project which is created inside of that event. So we have a library, structure is followed by a event, and inside the event we've got a specific project related to that event. You could also make a project related to the library. So say for example we're making a video sequence, and we've got a series of events. We want to edit together each one of those events. So it will keep our timeline a little bit cleaner, as opposed to having everything put into one timeline. You can imagine in a long video it could get very complicated. So we'll break it down. It'll make more sense to you later on as we get into the tutorial, but we're going to break it down so that each event has its own project, and then we'll be able to import those projects into the timeline later for the whole sequence. So what we want to do first of all is, of course, import some media. We need some actual video footage to work with. So into this event, let's import some media. So let me let's get some of my pre-recorded video that I've got. So I'm keeping it in my desktop. I've got some footage here. I've got some footage here that I've done of some friends of mine and running. So we'll import some of this video sequences that I've already recorded. Some of it was recorded with a GoPro, and other sections of video were recorded using a DSLR. But it's all in the same 180p format. I'll show you later how we deal with videos which are in different formats. So you got some in 180p, some 720p, different sizes, how we work with that. But initially, let's just import some of this video that we've got, some of these video sequences. So I'll select, what we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So you just select the video sequences you want and hit import selected. Then it brings up these options when we're importing the media. So we want to add it to an existing event. So yes, we'll call it tutorial 1, or we can create a new event. But I want to add it to this event that we created. We can also then choose what you want to do with the media, whether to copy it to the library or leave the files in place. Now this is important for you to take note of. If we choose to copy to the library, it will make a copy of all of that video into the actual library directory. So it keeps all of the project video all together in one place. That's fine, but you're going to use up your hard drive space quite quickly because you're going to create a copy of the video. So I would use that, for example, if I've got, say, an external hard drive. I'm going to plug in the external hard drive, I want to import the video from that external hard drive, and I want to keep all of my video files together in one place. However, in this situation, I've already got all of my video together on the desktop. I've got a folder there, CGT footage. So I'm going to leave it in place. Now that's fine, but you have to remember, if you then delete that folder, or if you move those videos to another location, Final Cut Pro is no longer going to be able to find it. So it's important, if you choose to leave the files in place, that you actually leave the files in place. So we can also import keywords from Finder tags. So if you've already given the media tags in Finder, if you're already familiar with the way that tags work, that was a new feature of OS X Yosemite, I believe, where you can give files tags. So you can edit the tags here, and you can give them tags, or you can assign tags to it. So this makes it easy for you to find video footage, for example. If you're working on a very big project, you're importing a lot of video, then you can arrange it and find it more easily by assigning keywords to certain pieces of video footage. And instead of you having to assign those keywords, you can bring them in from the tags if you've already given keywords or tags to those files. So we can choose also if we want to analyze for balance of color or not. So when we can also choose to analyze audio as well during the import procedure. I'm going to leave those unchecked, and we'll just go ahead and click import. And you'll see now in our tutorial event, we've got our project and we now have our media here. So let's give this title let's give this project, a title. So we'll call this also, we'll call this chapter 1, or no, video sequence 1, SEQ1. So this will be our first video sequence. And down here then we've got our timeline, which at the moment is blank. And we are just simply going to drag the video from here and move it down into our video timeline. Now when we first drag this in, you can see here we can choose the video properties of the clip are not recognized, and we can choose what format we want. So this video is 180p, so I'm going to leave it as that, and our resolution and our frame rate we can also choose here. What frame rate we want. So let's say I want 30 frames per second. It's 180p video, and our resolution, we leave all that standard there. Click OK. And now when we play this, you can see here is our video footage. Now, what we want to do is edit this footage. I don't want this beginning section here. We just want to have, say, this part here of the actual runners coming past. So that's pretty easy to do. All we're going to do is, you see when we go to the either end of the clip, we have these little arrows coming up. So all we simply have to do is just click and drag, and you'll see our screen splits, and we can see the video footage into where we're actually up to. So let's go to where the first runner is just approaching, which would be, say, here. And at the other end, we want to go to when the runners have actually already, the last runner has passed. So we'll drag back the other way until we see the last runner has passed us. And we'll leave it at that. So now, if we hit play, you'll see we get the video footage of the various runners coming past. So that's pretty straightforward, really. That's how you set up a project, and you import the media, and you get your first video clip actually into your timeline. If you want to view it full screen, you'll click this button here, and it'll replay the video there for you at full screen. When it's done, you can just hit escape or shrink the screen, and we come back to our original area. So that is the basics of Final Cut Pro. If you've got any questions, then don't hesitate to ask. In the next tutorial, we'll be moving on to how we can then input in other video, add it to our sequence, and how we can actually start, making something a bit more interesting. We'll also cover some transitions and how we transition from one piece of video to the next. So I'll see you in my next tutorial. Thanks for tuning in.